Welcome to Ann Arbor, home of the 2021 NCAA Gymnastics Champions. And guess what? Michigan is back in the hunt for the national title. Minnesota will try to be the spoiler tonight in this Big Ten dual meet. So hello everybody, I'm Sam Gore along with former National Collegiate Gymnast of the Year Ashley Miles-Grieg, and Michigan is back in the hunt for the national title. They are number 2 in the nation this week and have a team that definitely can contend for the national title. So other than that, Ashley, what are your headlines for this meet tonight?
Yeah, I think Michigan is in a good spot at this point. They're led by experienced veterans like Sierra Brooks, Abby Heiskell, and Natalie Wojcik, showcasing some of the best gymnastics in college gymnastics right now. And in the country, Minnesota has an opportunity to really big away score. And Maya Hooten is just an unbelievable athlete. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on tonight, especially on the floor exercise where she can score a 10 like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, she is one of the elite stars on floor. We will be starting with Michigan on the vault, and you will be treated to the fact that Michigan is number 1 in the nation on this event. But right away, Ash, pause and say this is a flip for Chip meet, so Michigan will be wearing purple tonight, and they doing this meet since 2016 in honor of Chip Hills, who was the father of a former gymnast, Kaylee Hills. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer when she was on the team, and fight against cancer and the support he gave the team was so inspiring that they have continued to honor him since 2016. Purple is the official color of pancreatic cancer, so that's why they're in the purple. So, Ashley, Reina Gugino getting ready to go on the vault.
Yep, Michigan is amazing on this event, like you already mentioned, and the number 1 team in the country. And they also have 3 athletes that are ranked in the top 10 on this event as well. So we're going to see why.
And we've actually had a change right away. This is not Gugino. This is going to be Jenna Mulligan that made that switch prior to us coming on the air. So Jenna Mulligan will be leading off. She's coming off a 9.85 though against Rutgers last week. So again, they're not losing a lot.
And Jenna Mulligan is actually replacing one of their stars on this event that they're resting, Naomi Morrison. See how she can get them started off. Yurchenko full, 9.95 start value, really good height, just a small step back on the landing. Start.
So if you are new to college gymnastics, 6 gymnasts go on every event. You have 4 events per team. Only 5 scores count though, and the team with the highest cumulative score of that 4th rotation is the winner of this dual meet. Minnesota is ranked number 19 in the nation. We've also on Michigan being ranked number 2. And we go over to bars now. Soraya Johnson, first gymnast up for Minnesota. She is in the leadoff role this year as a freshman.
Yeah, that's a very big deal for them too, to be in that leadoff spot, and she's very consistent. It's really earned her spot here. That's a Maloney to overshoot to handstand, a little bit of leg separation. Okay for the coach to be standing in equipment. As long as he does not touch the athlete, you're good to go. A unique toe on, toe off, front tuck half, and drills the landing. That's a great start for Minnesota.
Fired up. She struggled last week against Illinois, so that was a good bounce back. And Soraya Johnson, we'll see what her score is in just a moment. We go back to now where Natalie Wojcik is about to go. She had a 9.925 last week. One of their stronger vaulters in the best vaulting team in the nation.
Yeah, and it seems whenever she's on any event, it could be big. I mean, she has the ability to score in that 9.9 plus range on every event.
She is a multiple-time All-American and a Scholastic All-American.
Yurchenko 1.5 has lots of power on that. Wasn't able to find the landing, took a big step forward. So not going to be the big score that we're used to seeing Natalie on there, but still, she didn't sit it down.
On the uneven, Ashley, I was going to ask you, what are the points of emphasis this year?
Yeah, handstands, releases, dismounts, those are all to what the judges are looking for. You want to see them get that good position right on top of the bar. You want to see them do pieces, either single bar or in combination, moving from one bar to the next. And then also the dismount is ever important, and a stuck landing is always a good way to exclamate a good routine.
Curtis, a junior from Delaware, Ohio. And look at that season average. That is solid.
Yeah, it really is. Anytime you're above that 9.8 or so, it's a good average to have.
A 9.85 last week against Illinois, another meet that they won.
A little short on that first handstand. Maloney, to handstand. So far, same composition of the routine that went up first. Does a good job there at the end. A double tuck with a full twist. Another stuck landing. So Minnesota honing in on those landings on bars so far. 1-2, bam, bam.
And that was one of their points of emphasis, to stick these landings.
They're going to need to every single tenth that they can get going up against this top squad from Michigan.
Soraya Johnson had a 9.85, so we'll wait for Gertis' score on the ball so far. Michigan with a 9.775 and a 9.825, and here's Gabby Wilson, one of the best in the country.
Yeah, start you execution, landing. We just saw every single thing that the judges want to look for. That was the perfect, put that graphic up. I mean, it was executed nice. She got really good height. She stuck the landing, and that actually is from a 10.0 start value. That to your Chinko 1.5. So Gabby's showing why they won on this event. They find those landings.
Yeah, last week had a 9.975. Let's see how that is scored in just a moment. As we go back over to bars, Marissa Jinks will be next for the Gophers. We talked about the 10.0 start value in the vault. How about for bar? What are you looking for when you see a gymnast? What will you be looking for to know if their score is going to be good or not?
So all the routines start from a base start value of a 9.4. They do different combinations and skills, either individually, to build up to a 10.0 start value, but they have to meet a certain level of requirements. On bars, those are things like they have to have 2 bar changes, they have to have 1 turning element, they have to have 2 flight elements, and then also a dismount. So there's a lot going on. All the skills are rated from easy and A through E, the most difficult. So they can get creative with what they come up with.
Here are the scores so far as Jinks gets started.
Beautiful Ray. Gets really good height on that release move. Her hip to handstand in combination with an overshoot. A little short on that transition. That might be a slight deduction. Double layout. First landing, not stuck for Minnesota. Chest was like, I think, a little, didn't quite get the rotation on that double layout to find the landing, but all in all, very clean routine.
Well, their lowest score so far is a 9.85. Remember, you drop one of the 6 scores before the next rotation. And Sierra Brooks, I've been looking forward to this all week. The #1 vault in the nation.
Yes, last week her and her counterpart that we'll see went back-to-back 0.0, so she can be perfect. Yurchenko 1.5. She was really going for that landing. I mean, she got the height, the distance, really good position in the air. But because she was going for that landing, her momentum is going back instead of forward. But look at this, that block, just legs glued together, no cross. Once again, doesn't quite get the same block that we're used to her seeing, and blind landing, so she would have wanted to step forward, not back on that. So we won't see a score, but still a beautiful vault.
Holly Remlinger up next for Minnesota on the bar. Jinks just coming out the 9.8. That's their lowest score so far through 3 in this rotation. Brooks' score on that vault, by the way, was a 9.825.
Another to start off with, actually came in a little bit close on that release move. Bell to handstand, immediate soles, because the soles of her feet are on the bar. That's why it's called that. A little nickname for that skill. Full out in a tuck position and another stuck landing. That was a great bar routine for Rimlinger. Does a great job there.
Second team All Big Ten performer last year, coming off a 9.825 against Illinois last week. And now back over to vault. Gabby Wilson is at the highest score, 9.925. The first vault would be the one they dropped so far. This is Abbey High School, who you mentioned, Ashley, last week. Got a perfect 10 just after Brooks.
That's right, so she has huge capability here. Yurchenko 1.5, again, blind landing. You see she steps forward behind the landing, but the position, the amplitude is good. And you see on vault this year in college gymnastics, they have those white tape lines. That's for direction. If an athlete steps outside of that, it can kind of give the judges an idea of if they were square or not. So that's a new thing, and it really helps differentiate different athletes one to the other.
That's a great explanation of that. I wasn't sure on those. So now we go back to bars. Minnesota trying to keep up with Michigan. Obviously, Michigan is going to be very strong on the vault. So here,
and she's got a unique release move in her bar routine. Let's see if she does it. Starts off just a simple bell. A little bit of a hit. Not sure what that was all about, but she keeps moving through it. Nice handstand, good position right on top. Release move. It's called a Horkina. You don't see that a lot in college gymnastics. Real unique, and she executes it flawlessly. Double layout, and just a hop forward on the landing. So the hop and a little bit of an arch in that last handstand are the only deductions that I line change into this Horkina. Really, really unique gymnastic skill named after Svetlana Horkina.
Love that. Now we're going over to see the anchor on the vault, Reina Gugino, who we thought we'd eating off. She's going to anchor tonight.
Good opportunity for her. Put up a big number. Yurchenko 1.5, and just really misses the block and doesn't get the rotation. So unfortunate for Michigan. Not the best start. Definitely not what they were looking for. But she got an opportunity to get some experience and just unfortunately set it down.
Open the door a little bit, Minnesota. As they'll probably be dropping that Gugino score. And so Hooten is one of the premier gymnasts in the country. She's competing in the all-around tonight. Means she'll be on 4 events.
This anchor spot is actually new for they can really count on her. She's done a really good job of cleaning up her routine and the landings a lot more, according to Coach Hansen. Nice Tiger immediate shoot over. Good combination. She'll earn bonus for that. Full out and stuck land. So she does it again in that anchor spot. Just rises to the occasion.
That was beautiful.
That was a great routine. See the dismount here. We call this a full because the full comes on the second flip. Full in, it's on the first.
Problem. So we have finished with rotation 1. We'll give you the scores when we come back. Officially is looking like Michigan with a slight lead. But when we come back, little discussion. Can win their second NCAA championship this year? Michigan in 2021 won their first ever women's gymnastics title, becoming one of only 7 schools to do it. And it all came down to the wire, Ashley. In fact, it went down to the final routine as Oklahoma rallied late, and they were finally able to close it out to get that elusive title.
Yeah, it was exciting. They history up until that point. Like you said, only 6 other teams had even won a title, and they did it by the slimmest margins. It was only by less than a tenth that they captured it. They came back the next year in 2022. People expected them to even repeat. but they couldn't quite get it done. They picked an unfortunate night to not have the best, but I think they could definitely get there.
So Michigan, though, is actually trailing at this first rotation, and this is where they are coming into the meet tonight. They're the best vaulting team in the country, so that was a little bit of a slip up in that first rotation, but we will see them on floor a little bit later, also ranked #1 in the nation.
Yeah, they're so strong on vault and floor. You see ranked #1, but bars them here shortly and top 5 on that. I mean, they just hit on all cylinders. In like we vault, it's possible on any given night. You really have to be able to come in and put together a solid performance when it counts.
Well, we will see Michigan going to bars. Minnesota will on vault. The second rotation coming up. We got a little upset brewing right now as Minnesota slightly ahead of Michigan. Network later tonight, 7 Eastern, number 15 Missouri to Gainesville to take on Trinity Thomas and the third-ranked Gators. And then at 8:30, LSU up with SUNY Lee and the 5th-ranked Tigers. That's all tonight on the SEC Network. And
yeah, all three of these athletes bring a certain level of excitement to college gymnastics. I highly recommend check these matchups if you're likely to see a 10.
Right now in the top 25, there are Big Ten teams ranked and 8 SEC teams. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But look at this, Ashley. Love what you said on the break. I think it was something like, "Okay, Minnesota."
I was very excited to see this.
Yeah.
That's right. They're coming in on the road. We said they have an opportunity to capture a big score on the road, which would help their ranking. So Minnesota just needs to keep momentum going, and Michigan needs to hone back in and do what they know how to do on the bars.
So we flip the events. It will be Minnesota on the vault. They're ranked at number 10 in the nation. They will have 4 10-0 start values. And this is line up heading into the vault. See Coach Jenny Hansen fire up the team just before they get started.
Yeah, so their 2 athletes will start from a 9.95, meaning that's the highest they can if they're absolutely perfect on that vault. Just the Yurchenko entry where they do the round off on board, back handspring off, and a full twist in a laid out position after that.
The people watching not familiar with gymnastics maybe, and you can't get a perfect 10 if you don't have that 10-0 value on the vault. It'll be Marissa Jenks, sophomore from Madison, South Dakota, coming off a 9.75 last week.
Good opening vault, pretty sizable hop back. When you're doing a 9.95 start value, you want to give as little away as possible. So, but she did have good position, so that'll be a decent score to start Minnesota off on vault.
I'm going to be interested to see how Michigan responds here on bars after their vault performance in #1 in the nation. That was typical of them to be trailing after that first rotation. This is Abbey High School, who's one of the premier in the nation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with they're going to be just fine. They have experience. I mean, Abbey High School, she's in her, graduate senior. So this is who you want in this spot right now. Nice blind right on top. Kind of shows that. Straddled Jaeger. Another beautiful handstand. I really like how she executes. Salto. Again, look at those handstands. She is showing them off. Oh!
What happened there?
Her hand just came off on when she did the blind. That's a blind change full. So she does the blind and then around in a full circle. Her first hand just missed. It just slipped off. So unfortunately, going to have to start off with a fall. Things not going the way Michigan would like so far tonight.
So when that happens, Ashley, will she go through the entire again?
She won't go through the entire routine. She'll start from the point where she left off. She'll probably just repeat that move because I believe it's in combination with the dismount. You see she does it again, gets her fine, blind change full, double tuck, doesn't give anything else away. So we're gonna get an opportunity, I think, to again, Sam, here. See that right hand? No, it was the second one. I was wrong. It was the second hand on the second part of that just slipped for.
So Michigan with another miscue here on bars. We go back to vault now. Sarah Moreau up, freshman from Michigan.
Great opportunity here for Minnesota. And she capitalizes on it. Beautiful vault. Again, just a 9.9 value, but executed very cleanly.
There's just so much depth in gymnastics this year. We're seeing upsets already all across the country. Not that we're going to see one for sure tonight, but you don't go into meets anymore just absolutely certain of who's going to win them.
That's very true. The parity in gymnastics right now for college is exciting. It's really remarkable, and it just creates high-intensity competitions every week.
Naomi Morrison, who we normally see on the vault, rested in that event, now on bars.
A little bit of pressure here. So far, so good. That was a Ginger that she did. Just the dismount, I would say a little short on that last handstand. Beautiful double out. Just a small hop forward. So good getting them back on track here in this bar lineup. Nice Ginger release move, single bar release move, not in combination, but does it beautifully. Glued together, and you'll see the dismount again here, double layout. Does a really good job trying to spot and find that lane.
2 vault scores for Minnesota so far, 9.75 and 9.85. Here's Hallie Rimlinger.
She'll do their first, start value vault for them. She'll do your Chinko 1.5, blind landing in a tuck position. Good ball. See how far back she is from the horse? I mean, the distant amplitude is really good on that vault. Just a pretty sizable step, though. Probably, I would say, more than a 10th. Or right at
Minnesota,
10th.
Minnesota coming off a season high on the rotation on bars, and now back to bars for Gabby Wilson.
Next up on bars for Michigan, Gabby Wilson.
Wilson competing in the all-around tonight. She had a 9.925 on the vault to start the evening.
Another athlete that has the ability to score big on a single event. Watched her warm up bars, and she was on point on this routine. Line change to Pike Jaeger. Good last handstand. And there's the landing that we need to see. Very, very good bar routine from Gabby Wilson there. Blind change to a piked Jaeger. Doesn't quite get the height that you see. Other than that, very cleanly executed. Dismount does a really good here of just like, she drilled that into the ground.
That should be their highest score far through 3 gymnasts, and now back over to Gianna Gertis on the vault.
Actually upgraded to this 1.5 this year, so this is new for her. Wasn't able to
be happy with that.
There, but I think, yeah, she's got to be happy with that. I couldn't tell where her was going on that blind landing. But beautiful position. Beautiful position in the air for sure. Does a good job getting a good block, good position. Yeah. So we want her to step forward on that. Her momentum showed the judges that she was under rotated with that deep squat.
Step back is bad, or not as bad, right?
Depending on the momentum and the direction. That's correct.
Bowman up on the bars now from West Des Moines, Iowa. She won the event title last week in the Rutgers quad with a 9.95.
Double front mount blind landing, and does a good job there. I don't know if I would count that as a stick because it came up a little bit quick, but great routine. Her release combination, beautiful. She rose well above the bar.
She is following Gabby Wilson's 9. So Michigan picking up some momentum right now. And now Maddie Quarles getting set to go on the.
Still opportunity for Minnesota to keep these scores rising, try to find these landings.
And then Minnesota left after this rotation. After the first rotation, I should say.
Yep, again, good, clean, height, good positioning. Just a big, pretty sizable step on the landing. So not going to get into that range yet for Minnesota.
So far, the score to drop from Minnesota would be a 9.75. And Sierra Brooks up next. So with that 9.9 average this season, that's a 8th best in college gymnastics. Bowman had a 9.875.
Line, Pike, Jaeger. So shoot the handstand, get overshoot. Full twisting double layout. Beautiful. Very difficult dismount, even more so to stick because she's twisting on that part of that and just really does a good job. That's very difficult dismount to stick. See there, look at that. Whips it around and it's the slightest scooch back.
The current co-gymnast of the week in the Big Ten, along with Abbey High School from Michigan, anchoring the vault for the Gophers.
Wow. Wow. I was speechless a second because she just found that. I mean, that was unbelievable. That's what we're used to seeing from Michigan. Says, nope, I'm coming in here. I'm doing it. In your home arena, I'm just going to stick this little vault here like it's nobody. That was beautiful. She gets a good block, good rotation. She opens out of that, and she's fought for that landing. It'd be a huge score.
She's had 5 perfect 10s, but not on the vault. We typically see her getting those 10s on 4. So that is a fantastic way to finish that rotation for Minnesota. And now Natalie Wojcik up on the bars for Michigan.
Yep, and you're going to see why Natalie Wojcik is in their anchor position. Delchev, beautiful. I love watching her do that move. And look at her toe point. I mean, it's noticeable. It's just, it's beautiful. Great line. See if she can get this last handstand. Nice smooth. Giants into a beautiful floaty double layout. No big deal. Stuck landing.
So that's going to end the second rotation. Maya Hooten, by the way, got a 9.95 on that final vault. Here it is again. And as you watch her fly through the air, come back to get to know her a little bit better. Maya Hooten on the other side.
It felt like home right when I walked on campus, and the team felt like family. Floor because I can show off my personality. Before every meet, I eat eggs with hot sauce. Business and marketing. Snakes. Buy my mom her dream car.
Is on the bars warming up. Ashley, I don't know how that hot sauce would sit in my stomach after what she's doing right now, but obviously it's working for her. She just had an amazing vault going right to break.
Yeah, finding all those landings. I mean, Maya, she's got so many accomplishments, and you know, Coach had so many good things to say about her. She said you can't take your eyes off her. She just kind of draws, and you know, and she does a really good job of firing the team up. And her leadership role has been ever since she's been a freshman. So it's just kind of part of her personality, and she's really wants to, you know, an example for folks. She knows that she's a star on this team. There's lots of folks watching her, and she has a good attitude about it. And I mean, we're getting to experience that just watching her and doing so.
Well, last week she had a perfect 10 on the floor, and you will see her anchor for rotation for Minnesota when we return to Ann Arbor. Minnesota still in the lead. NHL on ABC returns tomorrow. The Saturday doubleheader begins. Lightning in Dallas to take on the Stars at 1 Eastern, noon Central. And then the NHL leading Bruins host the Capitals. Both games are also available on ESPN+. Well, here in Ann Arbor, Minnesota leading by 0.75 through the first 2 rotations of this dual meet against the second-ranked team in the nation.
Sam, I love it. This is what college gymnastics is all about. You know, you're in hundreds and thousands and 100s and 10ths. And to come in here, you know, Mike has just shown in the anchor spots on both of those. I mean, I think what we've got coming up is exciting floor lineup. I mean, Minnesota has that 1-2 punch of Hallie Rimlinger and Hooten, who was perfect last week. She's been perfect 5 times on floor. So there's a lot to look forward to from this Minnesota team.
Maya Hooten will be anchoring the floor for Minnesota, but what has Minnesota done so far tonight to get this lead? They put up a season high in bars and vault. So this is their best meet of the season so far against a premier program like Michigan. That's very impressive as we're halfway finished.
Yeah, great opportunity for them, like we've been saying, to come in here and put up a huge score on the road. That means something when you can score big outside of your home arena.
Yeah, it does mean something, but I also want to point out to people new to gymnastics, sometimes you can lose the meet, but be very happy with your results because it's all about scores, right?
That's right, it's all about score. After week 6, there's an NQS, which is your national qualifying score that comes into the mix. It matters what you score at home and what you score away because they drop the high and 3 of them have to be. I mean, you see here, Oklahoma, Michigan, Florida. I mean, we've got some great teams, and we talked about the parity in gymnastics. I mean, look at that. I mean, all of the big conferences are pretty much represented there. So when it's all done, it's really going to come down to that last night and who can get it done on that night and rise to the occasion.
She would be on the Mount Rushmore of gymnastics coaches in her 34th season. He has won more Big Ten championships than any coach in any sport in the, and then of course led them to that first NCAA title in 2021, one of only 7 teams to have ever been able to say they're NCAA champions.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. I mean, 34 years, and you know, took her a while to get, she did. And it's so exciting.
So what would your message be to the Michigan team right now as they find themselves down in bed and we're about to see Carly Bowman?
My message would be to let's do what we know how to do. They're not out of this by any means. They're strong on every event. And Carly is in this leadoff spot that, you know, she's earned this. I mean, she's strong on this event. She's nice and solid. And she needs to get up there and do her job and get them started off right.
It's the 12th ranked team in the nation on beam, and this is always one of those X factors. Good beam teams are it's a very valuable commodity.
Nice flat series by handspring layout. And I think it's also worth mentioning that Carly sat out the entire season with a season-ending injury last year. I mean, they expected her to contribute big time, but couldn't. So to have her back has been huge for them.
Well, that was a big loss for them last season. Just love stories of these gymnasts coming back from those catastrophic injuries.
Watched her warm that up. It's a side summy in a piked position with straight legs, very difficult. She nailed it every single time, just like we just saw there.
Again, Michigan wearing the purple tonight in honor of one of their former gymnast fathers.
Pike gainer off the end, and good start for Michigan on beam. That's what they need. Get that momentum going.
She led them off with a 9.85 last week at Rutgers. Michigan trailing by 0.075 coming into this third rotation. And now we go to floor. To Jenks will be up first. Minnesota is the 7th ranked team in the nation on floor.
And Marissa is new on this event this year for them. She was the backup actually last year, so her to be in that leadoff spot She's earned it. Her first pass is an E-level skill. A little bit about those. That's one of the most difficult, even though it might look easy. It's a front double twist. Oh, and she saves that. She saves that. Didn't quite get a punch on that and had a pretty deep squat in the momentum going backwards. So will be a deduction.
Jake's just a sophomore from South Dakota.
1.5 twists, front layout, very good. It was very consistent on both of those skills in combination.
Steve Bowman's score on the beam was a 9.85 for Michigan.
So Minnesota want to work real hard to keep pace in terms of scoring. They have the ability to do big numbers here. Front 1.5. She must be a really good front tumbler. Doesn't like to do front handspring. Good job to start off on floor.
So we'll see what her first score is in the leadoff role for Minnesota. We go back over to beam and the points of emphasis on beam, Ashley.
Yeah, you want to see dance and acro skills, and of course balance. You want them to stay on the event. The connections, you want to make sure that there's no breaks in the connection. So if they're doing two skills, they want to move smooth from one to another.
That average 9.685. She was below that last week in the Rutgers quad, looking for a bounce back here tonight at home.
Handspring lay. She saved that. She was a little loose in her hips. They kind of opened, but she was able to make that micro connection, or excuse me, micro correction in the middle of that and pull it back on. That takes a lot of strength to be able to.
Everything's micro on the beam, Ashley.
Yes, it is. It's only 4 inches.
At the size of a cell phone.
If you want a display of power on the back, we just saw it, that standing switch leap. The height that she gets in the position, like wow. And we talk about those elements to build up to a 10.0 start value on beam. They have to have a leap jump that hits 80. Round off, double tuck dismount. I got distracted with my description there because that was so good. Difficult dismount. You don't see that very often in college gymnastics, really because it's difficult. You take a risk. It's very hard to find the landing, but you see here round off, 2 flips.
Wow.
Does a really good job of spotting the landing and makes it look easy.
Bowman had put up a 9.85. See what Wilson's score is. Jenks was a 9.625 for Minnesota. So Michigan trying to jump with Minnesota at the end of this rotation. Here's Mallory Leneve, a senior from Lee Summit, Missouri. Coach Hansen watching in the background there.
You hear her teammates really loud. A lot of times when you're on the road outside of your home arena, you have to rely on building your own energy. Double piked up, and I would say that wasn't the cleanest landing. Her chest was a little bit low. I would like to see it up just a little bit.
In terms of ranking, this is Minnesota's best event.
Yeah, they're in the top 10 on this. 1.5 twists, front pike. And again, in a perfect world, you'd like to see that second skill in that combination, tumbling, rise just a little bit more. The double tug, and again, she pulled that around. Sam, you even had a reaction. A little low on that. I was a little nervous, but she pulled it around.
Okay.
Yep. Minnesota they're doing what they need to do. They're being solid. Those little small things are things they could on. See, she doesn't really lift all the way up on that first flip, so she doesn't get the height that you want to see to be comfortable watching that.
That was where my reaction came from. I didn't think she was going to make it. That was fun to watch. So now Nicoletta Koulos from Long Beach, California. She's a former walk-on, Ashley, and now is competing on 3 events.
Yes.
Ranked team in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, that's big, you know, just to be a walk-on and contribute the way that she is. It's pretty unbelievable.
So a 9.875 at the Rutgers Quad last week on Beam.
Beautiful series. Very sharp with her hands and her finishes. I like it. Very unique choreography and position on that full turn that's required in every routine in some form or fashion. She does it very nicely. I like how she did it in that position. Deep jump straddle 3. Good combination. And that will fulfill that element dance or acro combination that the athletes have to have. Cat leap, front aerials.
Wow.
This could be a big number if she can get this landing. Off 1.5. Just a little stutter step to the side. That's going to be a good score for Michigan. That was a routine.
She's following a 9.875 from Gabby Wilson.
I'm going to say that her score is going to be at least that. Really good series there. Back handspring layout. I like looking at it from that angle. You see she was square. Hips were square right over the entire time. Big smiles from her.
Through 2 gymnasts in this rotation, Michigan's definitely picked up some ground. So Minnesota will need to finish strong on floor. Here's Gianna Gertis.
Their last 4, you would ideally want to see these scores start to rise for Minnesota. Front step out through to round up, back handspring, double tuck. Good job. Stays in bounds. You do the lines that they put on the mats, and she has the mat for a little bit of extra cushion. Helps save these athletes' bodies. That is allowed as long as they do the lines to make sure the judges can see that they stay in bounds. Ends with a double pike, so we'll get a little bit of bonus and a really good landing.
So they needed a big score, and I think they're going to get their first big one of the night from Gianna Gertis.
Yes, I agree with you, Sam. I think that's going to be a big number for Minnesota.
She was just shy of a 9.9 lap at Illinois. See what the judges think of that. As Michigan's on the move here on the beat. Getting up some ground as Sierra Brooks about to follow Koulos is at 9.925. That's the high so far for the Wolverines.
Yeah. This is the back handspring layout, nice and solid. This is actually the only event Michigan is ranked as a team at this point in the season outside of the top 10.
Number 12 in action. They ended last season number 11 on this event.
Required full turn. She whips it around real fast. I always enjoy seeing the different styles and artistry from different athletes. Kick over front tuck, some very fast and sharp, some are more fluid. I mean, and I think it really just adds to team's lineup as a whole when everybody's kind of different. I think Michigan has that. That handspring double twist off and nails the landing. Very, very good routine.
I love how confident she was throughout that routine. She was unflappable.
Yeah, just really calm and comfortable. Nice flight series here. Again, I love that angle. You can see not off at all. Nice and square. Kick over front tuck. Just like she's on the floor. That's really the best beam work, like they're doing it on the floor. They make it look easy, even though it is not.
Soraya Johnson following Gert 9-9. So that was indeed the best score of the meet so far for Minnesota on floor. Johnson can keep the momentum going.
And I think that might be a career high for her as well. Wolf 1.5. I saw her feet slightly before she started that. Whether or not the judges take it, we'll see. Front full, front half.
She's only a freshman. She's already been freshman of the week in the Big Ten this year.
Side straddle full. Jumps from her. Good position in the air, showing off that flexibility. This is somebody Coach Henson said that, you know, struggled a little bit, had some mistakes, but has really, you know, done a good job of adjusting, you know, competing back to back. That's way different for these freshmen coming here when they might have a meet every quarter of a year, where this you're doing weekend and week. It's tough on your body. That's the chest up we want to see on that double tuck. Good land, good routine.
Soraya Johnson last week at 9.875. Let's see if she's a little bit better than that this week against Michigan. And the beam now. Michigan has been so impressive on beam so far. Look at these scores. Brooks 9.95 preceding high school.
And we already know can score big.
High school last week had a 9.95 herself on beam at Rutgers.
See, there's her season average, just a 9.6. A little bit on this event, but obviously she's got that momentum. Just said she went big, 9.95 last week. Hopes to just continue that.
She actually won the all-around in that meet as well.
That was her first time in the career winning the all-around. Gave a little bit away on that combination, the switch leap, have a little bit of a bobble, but pulled it back nicely. The transfer combination. Off 1.5, stuck landing. Aside from that bobble on the switch leap, that was a really good routine.
Michigan has turned it up here on the beam. Back over to the floor, points of it, Ashley.
Yeah, difficulty, presentation, which we've seen already, and I'm looking forward to seeing Maya Hooten. And then, of course, landings, and we've talked a little bit about that. It can be a deduction when you land with your chest down. You really have a high chest, and you want to see combination passes rise.
Remlinger this week put up a 9.95 just before that perfect 10 from Hooten. Let's see if she can repeat that.
Yeah, she's really good on this event, has a really fun routine, some unique choreography. Full in, opening pass. That's an E-level skill. Switch side, straddle jump, full. good one. Twist front layout. I like the way that that combination flowed, and she rose on that second flip.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful landing. I mean, she just fell out of that one. Messed up, big smile at the end too. She knew it was a good landing.
Yeah, I love that reaction when she landed it. She wasn't even and already was smiling.
Look at that, just falls right down, chest up nice and high. Very clean.
So we'll see if Remlinger can keep the scores trending upward for a minute. It's been so good on beam for Michigan, as Wojcik up now in the anchor spot following high school 9.875.
Yeah. We asked Coach Bev Plotke to just talk about her beam lineup, what she thought were the highlights, and she's like, I mean, you gotta say Natalie Wojcik in the anchor position. I mean, and you see why. Just beautiful toe point. She just has gorgeous gymnastics. I mean, she doesn't really give anything away, and when she's on, she can just score so big.
Now she's 8th best in the nation on this event.
Triple flight series, back handspring layout. Just another day at the office for her is what I'm getting that feel watching her do balance beam.
Remember, Michigan trailed coming into this rotation by .075. They've had a fantastic beam event so far.
Definitely going to make up some ground. One and a half stuck, and that's going to be a huge score in the anchor position, and just what Michigan needed to close out this beam rotation.
Right now, they would be dropping a 9.85. We'll see what that score. But Maya Hooten is now on floor. She is ranked number 2 in the nation in the event, and last weekend put up a perfect 10. She had 3 perfect 10s on the floor last.
And you're going to see why here. She was perfect just last week. Been perfect 5 times in her career, and this is a treat.
Chip just put up a perfect 10 on the beam. Let's see if Hooten can match it on the floor.
I guarantee you she's going to take that energy and act like they're cheering for her. Look at that, just huge opening full-in pass. Falls out of the sky. And just so fun to watch. I'm sitting here just smiling, just, watching her smile. It's contagious. Talking about that second flip. Do you see how she rose above almost what she was on the front full to that front pike? It really just displays beautiful, technically sound gymnastics. And that's why she scores 10s all the time on this event.
Well, we just a 10 on the beam. We'll see if we end the floor with one as well. Back to Natalie Wojcik, because while Maya was starting her routine, it was announced that the perfect 10 had been Wojcik on the beam. So we have had our first perfect 10 of the night. And here it is, just moments ago.
And while we were watching the routine, we said it. There was no deduction. When she hits, she is on, and she has the ability to score big and perfect. And that pretty much sealed it right there, that stuck landing. And I think that she knew it. How exciting for Natalie. Those 10s don't come often, but when they do, they are special.
So Wojcik ends the beam with a perfect 10. And Maya Hooten's score was a 9.975. When we return around the nation, and what a look it is right now. Good times in gymnastics.
Most energy we possibly can when we're competing against them.
When we walk into the assembly center, it's loud, really loud.
The gymnastics at that meet is always awesome.
That's always a big competition. It's always amazing. We're so determined going into that meet. We know what we want.
Next Friday, this stellar line on the SEC Network and ESPN2. And obviously, you competed at Alabama, Ashley. In the SEC, those meets are just unbelievable for people to watch. So here around the country, we've already had one perfect 10 tonight, and there were 11 last week. You had 11 in your entire career, Ashley. It seems like we're seeing more and more of those this year.
We really are, but it's really due to the level of gymnastics. There's Olympians, I mean, there's world champions. The level of difficulty is just unbelievable. You know, Oklahoma, Michigan, #1 and #2, you know, in the NCAA. They've went twice for 198. And, you know, Alabama, there's all these just records and history being made across the NCAA. It's really good for the sport, and it's even more exciting to see.
Well, back to our meet, speaking of history, put up their highest score ever on the beam. That's what we just saw. And we had a perfect 10 as Natalie Wojcik secured this perfect 10 in the
And she was just zoned this entire routine and caps it off with that stuck dismount. That smile says it all. She knew that routine was good, and you know, it's emotional. It means so much. 10s don't come all the time, but when they do, they are just so special, and you remember them. So happy for her. So now she needs to regroup and get ready to close it out.
Yeah. So again, Michigan's total score was a program record. They had a 49.625 on beam, which they've never done that before. And so now Michigan has overtaken Minnesota heading into this final rotation. They are just ahead of the Gophers. So good news for you at home watching, or wherever you're watching. The #1 ranked team on floor, you're about to see them. Michigan is #1 in the nation on. I just can't wait to see these routines. Some of them, of course, on the verge of going viral.
And they're consistently, over the last several years, ranked #1 on the power events on vault and floor. And they just really have a knack for finding those landings, just really executing on these two events.
It'll be Minnesota on the beam. And so we'll see if Michigan can keep up the momentum and win this meet home. It's been an excellent meet by Minnesota so far. Again, in gymnastics, it's not necessarily who wins, but the scores you put up. And Minnesota had their season high in bars and vault, and that's the lead when they went to floor.
Yeah, Minnesota has a really big challenge here and an opportunity. This is the one event for them that they've had the most growth on. And Coach Henson said he's still playing around with the lineups, trying to figure out what's going to be successful and what better stage to come up with a big score in a close meet against the #2 team in the country on the road.
She also said they had a good training week this week on beam,
which is always a good thing. Always good to have that confidence builder and that momentum going into this type of environment.
We're going to see Emily Cook now, a junior from Bloomington, Minnesota. She had a 9.775 week, but leading off tonight.
Yep. Said her and the second athlete that we'll see, her, Lauren Pearl, have been battling it out this year, trying to fight for this leadoff spot, but it looks like he's got the bill tonight. Again, you see the different styles. She's a lot more slow and methodical in her movements on the balance beam that can't play out. Really kind of taking her time moving through these skills. jump, split three-quarter. I would like to see a better of a position in that jump. Alukin.
Wow.
Showing that off there.
Leg strength to save that.
Named after Nastia Lukin. Good opening routine. Emily Cook comes through for Minnesota. Yes, I mean, how about keeping that balance, not falling off, really executing in that leadoff spot. I love this view. Look at that. You got to have strong toes. And she was even a little off, but she fought for it. And again, finding that landing ever so important, and she does it. Good job. That's going to be a big score.
Yeah, I love that shot on the beam of her toes. Now we for Rena Gugino, who is coming off a 9-9 last week at Rutgers. And again, number 1 ranked team in the nation on floor.
Yep. So what you're going to see is top to bottom through 6, every single athlete has the ability to go 9-9 plus. And I would say probably if they execute well, pretty easily. The difficulty is there, and so is the execution for all these athletes.
Always a little more pumped up at home as well.
Big double pike to off. Front layout full. Again, another athlete when that combination hits where that second flip rises above the level of first. Really shows good technique. I talked to Coach Plocky about, and I asked her about how hard is it to make a lineup on this team, and she said, you know, it's really difficult, you know, and she said, but it's a good problem to have. Happy to have that. Front layout, 1.5 twist in combination. Good leadoff routine. So nice. Take another look at the last pass. She really does a good job executing. Nice front layout, legs glued together, and the 1.5 twist out of that. Lands with the chest up and lunges back.
So we'll see what that score is for Michigan. They came into this rotation, leading Lauren Pearl, getting on the beam now. So from Massachusetts, following Cook's 9.85.
That required full. That handspring layout, nice and stretched, position, solid. Switch leap, half. Good combination. You see she did not break in between. Those were connected. Her arms kept moving. So no deduction that I could see on that.
Just trying to find their best meet of the year on the beam.
Yeah, they've had some bests tonight, haven't they, Sam?
Yeah, this has been the one event that they have not had their best traditionally so far this year. So an event coach says they have a lot of growth potential.
Yeah, gainer full off the side, and that's 2 good routines for Minnesota to start off the beam rotation. Four inches, folks.
Yeah.
No wider than a cell phone.
I remember it.
So if you're in your living room, just think about that. Stand up, put your phone. Most of us have those iPhones down, and look at that. And look at what they're doing. It's unbelievable.
Been looking forward to Koulas's roots because she has Greek heritage, and they work a little bit of that Greek heritage into her floor. See if you can spot it.
Yeah, this is one of the routines that Plocky said because of that is so unique, getting her Greek heritage in there, but also the choreography is great. 2.5 twist, punch front, nice combination, clean.
She started the season with 3 straight 9.25s on the floor.
You saw a lot of the moves when we saw her on the balance and kind of transfer over from her floor routine as well. She moves exactly the same way, very unique, very fluid. Good position on that sleep. And the second one that might have been a little mess up there in the position on the wolf. Double pike, nice and clean landing, executing well. That's why they're #1 on this event.
Coulis from Long Beach, California. Again, she gymnast we talked about earlier. Originally was a walk-on here, and now through that final floor routine.
Contributes on 3 events, and even more so, this is not even Michigan's top lineup. Their superstar on the floor, Naomi Morrison, is resting tonight.
Well, we're used to seeing Maya Hooker roll. She's up 3rd on the beam for Minnesota. She's had an incredible meet so far. 9.95 on the vault, 9.95 on the bars, 9.975 on. Let's see what she puts up on beam.
Oh, she touched the beam, so that is going to be a deduction, almost the same as a fall. And you see she's going to go back and she repeated the element, a kick over front to a backhand spring, because that is her acro series. So she had to get requirement in there to build up to that 10.0 start value, but unfortunately, take a hit for her all-around score.
That's a good explanation. She had to go back and repeat it.
That's right, because it was in combination. There's that required full turn. You know, different levels of confidence. Like, her team is really, really loud, yelling and screaming on the balance beam. Some people might not like that. I don't know that I would. But that must be something that she likes.
Well, she was the overall leader in the all-around coming into that routine. And we'll see if that drops her out of that lead role after that touching of the beam. Coach Hanson giving her a hug of approval. A lot of all-arounders, 6 in total.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. That's a lot of routines from just those 6 athletes.
Abbey High School on floor now. It's a fun routine. I've been looking forward to this one since we talked to Coach Blocky.
Talked about her personality, and it's just bubbly and fun, and you know, she's the one that's going to have everybody laughing.
Poulos had a 9.95, by the way, just before high school on floor.
Arabian double front, E-level pass, blind landing. And she fought for that landing because it wasn't quite the momentum going the like for it to see. It was a little bit going back the opposite way, but she covered it well. Very difficult to pass. Good combination, gets that all the way around. Good position on the leaps there.
All right, she's got me dancing. All right.
Yeah, she's got the into it, and her teammates doing the choreography right along with her. One and a half twist from difficult combination twists on both of those acro skills and combinations. Very, very good routine. We're gonna get another look at the first pass, that Arabian double front. Starts off backwards, ends forward for a blind landing, and you're going to see what I was talking about in terms of the momentum. She should really continue going forward, but you see she kicks out, almost trying to go for that landing and has to hop back. So that will be an indication to the judges that it was a little under-rotated, but she didn't do that. She was going for the landing.
Tiare Salas now, beam for Minnesota. Following the 9.625 from Maya Hooten. That's that they're going to hope to drop.
That was a 2 to 3 deduction for her touching the balance beam. Not quite the level of the fall, but in the she was in, it's almost the same. Nice triple combination, back handspring, layout. Just a little slight check at the end. Oh, switch leap, switch side, and really fought to keep that going and keep that on the balance beam. So that'll be a pretty sizable deduction as well with the arm swing, and she stayed on the equipment. That's what it really matters. You want to see them continue to fight. Gainer back pike. And again, Minnesota just a couple little things here and there, not really capitalized like we really kind of wanted to see them do on the balance beam. They had a really good opportunity. Let's see, that's on that combination where she had the big balance check on the switch. You know, her upper body just wasn't jiving with the rest, so she was a little off, but she for it. And there's that gainer back pike off the end. Kind of comes in a little close to the beam too.
Again, this is the event that Minnesota feels like they have the greatest room for growth.
And I would have to agree. Beam is one of those events in college gymnastics. If you want to win a national championship, I would say you can be ranked #1 on vault, on bars, on floor, but if you don't have it on beam, there's no way you're going to come top. You have to have beam.
It is the X factor. Still waiting on some. I haven't seen Abbey High School score. She was on floor prior to Sierra Brooks, who is picture right now about to go. Brooks, by the way, is ranked #8 in the nation in this event. She's come 9.925 last week in the Rutgers quad. There's her season average. Again, 8th best in the nation. When you have a delay like this, Ashley, typically what's happening with the judges?
So there could be some question as to whether she got some of the elements. It could be, you know, don't speculate, but it could just be any number of things. Sometimes if the judges flash a certain score up, it could be the start values are too far apart. So when that happens, okay, something's off. They've got to conference in and just figure out what they're seeing and what they saw to make sure they get it right. I'm assuming that for Abbey, it was more than, it was more than likely something to do with the start value there. Looks like they're trying to come together and come to a consensus on it. But in the meantime,
I was going to say, while we watch them talk, we can say that Tiare Salas had a 9.7 on the beam that last routine we just saw. So far, they'll only going to be dropping the 9.625 from Hooten. But Brooks still waiting on the high school score. Big night here in the flip for chip meet.
Yeah, and they practice for things like this, you know, delays, and you just kind of have to stay within your team and just you know, wait till you get that green flag from the judge that tells you to go.
This has been the first delay of any sort we've had in this meet so far tonight. It's been running smoothly with the meet. Here in Ann Arbor, second-ranked team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines. Their only 2 losses this year are to Oklahoma and Michigan State, who is ranked #12 this week. Now, she gets the green light, and the high school score was a 9.8.
And this is definitely almost one of those sit back and enjoy type routines, because everything is just so powerful, executed so well, just a joy to watch. Full in. Nice landing as well on that first pass. Play full, split jump full, really good combination. She above and beyond the 180 degree in that split position. Athletes put in so much time, and there's something to be said about competing in college gymnastics at on the floor exercise. There's really nothing like it for these athletes.
So much dance when I love it.
Yep, front through to double tuck. Does a 2-pass routine, but both passes very difficult, one in combination.
Well, their season average over a 9.9. Let's see what's up. Right now, the lowest score for Michigan is a 9.85. That's the one they'd be wanting to top. And back over now to Beam. Gianna Gertis, second to last gymnast going from Minnesota. It's an average, and last week, though, she was really good on the beam, above that average. 9.85 against Illinois.
Every athlete has to come down to the level of the balance beam. You've seen that from every single athlete. She hits that right there in the beginning. She's got a pretty difficult combination here. Does a front heel. I thought she did that in combination, but that was just a single acro skill. Handspring layout, step out. There's that required full turn that gives these athletes issues from time to time. So simple, but sometimes it can be the most difficult skill. That was beautiful right there. Ring jump. She actually leaves her eyes the beam. So you have to be square on that. Gainer full off the side, just a small hop on the landing. So
9.85, the best score far tonight on the beam for Minnesota.
So I think this definitely has the potential to in that really good position on that split jump and a double stag ring. Look at that. Saw her smile because she knew it was good too. She was happy that she stayed on.
Sierra Brooks had put up a 9.95, and now it's Gabby Wilson's turn to see if she can do even. We're still looking for that perfect 10 on floor tonight.
That's right, and she's so good on this event, but that said that, you know, she still really hasn't nailed that perfect routine yet. She's so good, and she's so bad, and they've kind of challenged her this week to just go out there, relax, let herself go, and just routine that she does in practice. So let's see how she does.
She had 2 perfect 10s on floor last.
So she can do it, and so far, so good. Front full, bounces out of it. Switch side, straddle jump full, also called a popa. Straddle jump position is beautiful. Double tuck, clean landing. You see the reaction from Beth Flocky in the background. I think she stepped up to the challenge that they gave her this week on floor exercise.
Well, let's see what the think.
Yep. Then we look at the last pass. Huge double tuck, clean landing. And competing at home on floor. Look at the crowd. They're into it. They knew it was good. Out of their seats, automatic.
Yeah, the react were almost as good as the performance itself. That was fun to watch. It's all everybody in the background. One to go for Michigan. We'll see Natalie Wojcik in a moment, but right now back over to the in the anchor role. Sarah Moreau coming off the 9-9 from Gertis.
Wow. That's great. She's actually from Michigan and is really about coming home to compete in her home state. That handspring layout, big smile. She knew that was good. Good when you can smile on beam.
There's a lot of Minnesota fans here. They traveled well.
I like how she's smiling throughout this routine. She's nice and relaxed up there.
I'd be just to stand up.
Ooh, front heel. That foot was almost off the beam. I don't know how she pulled that up and stayed on, but she did. No smile after that one. She was focusing. Gainer full off the side and low chest, was really kind of going for that dismount there.
Natalie Wojcik looking for a 9-5 to win the all-around tonight. And Gabby had a 9-9-5. So we've had two straight 9-9-5s on floor put up by the Wolverines, and Wojcik trying to match that and win the all-around. All-around in gymnastics means you've competed in all four events tonight.
This is a great opportunity for her. They've kind of had to rest her a little bit. She's only competed once so far this season on floor, and they really wanted to get her back in. Had some, you know, small things, some knee injuries that have kind of been nagging. So she definitely can score what she needs to become the all-around champion tonight. Let's just see how she does. Half twist, front layout.
Wojcik gave us the best of the night so far with the perfect 10 earlier on the beam.
Yeah, how's that for momentum going into the next rotation? When you were perfect. Beautiful combination. I mean, her, like, again, I've said it on every single routine. Like, look at her toe point. It's just, it's beautiful. It really stands out. Her artistry is just, it's more classical for gymnastics. That's one of the fun things about college is you get to see lots of different types of artistry. Double pike, big smile from her. That was good. Good landing. So she does a two-pass routine and all the way throughout.
What'd you think?
I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Definitely 9-9 or better. I don't know 9-9-5 though.
Okay.
We'll see.
9-5 is what she needed.
A big smile. Good, good job. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna discover if she won the all-around. Regardless, that was an incredible performance. And what a meet tonight here in Ann Arbor. We'll give you the totals when we come back. So Michigan, the team in the nation who trailed after the first two rotations, came back strong to win this dual meet against Minnesota. And actually, it was Natalie Wojcik who really stole the show individually.
She did. Her experience showed tonight. She was perfect on the balance beam with a 10.0. She was honed in all night, just nailed that dismount, and what a night for Natalie Wojcik, and so much fun to see. Then she came over on floor, an event that she's only been on one other night, and 9-5 to capture the all-around. So good night for Natalie Wojcik.
So Natalie Wojcik winning the overall all-around tonight with an incredible performance, including a perfect 10 on the beam.
Let's hear a big round of applause for all of our
Ranked number 2 in the nation, showing why. Coming up next on ESPNU. College basketball, Fairfield against Rider, and also gymnastics continues over on SEC Network. Ashley Miles Grigg and our hardworking crew in Ann Arbor. I'm Sam Gore, listening now to Fairfield and Rider.